With the release of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 drawing ever closer, I'm still hoping that against all trailer implications, Rocket ends up making it out alive. But in the very likely event that I'm wrong, and since this trilogy closer is putting Rocket front and center anyways, I figure it makes sense to focus this episode of Poorly Explained Comics on him. The comics version of Rocket hails from a distant planet that was used as, essentially, an asylum for the mentally ill aliens that resided there. These patients were originally cared for by robotic stewards, but said robots ended up getting sentience through exploding star radiation, and genetically modified the native fauna, which were being used as pets and were also inexplicably similar to Earth animals, to do their job for them. The robots proceeded to head off to the other side of the planet where they industrialized half of it, resulting in the planet being dubbed Halfworld. In Rocket's earlier stories, Halfworld was presented as a colorful, zany place, but we'd eventually come to find out the history that we'd heard was actually a front for something much darker. In reality, Halfworld was originally an entirely metallic planet, and the criminally insane alien residents were kept pacified by VR immersion technology. Rocket, chief of security, had left Halfworld as a means of containing psychic criminal Starthief. Proving resistant to all forms of treatment, Starthief was kept prisoner on Halfworld by using the inhabitants' biological data as part of the lock. Since he could only be freed if all of Halfworld's people were present, Rocket chose to leave, but not before using the Immersion Tech to wipe his own memories, explaining the happier Halfworld we'd seen before. Oh, and this gloomier retcon to his origin? We found that out in 2011. Despite first showing up in 1976 as part of a backup story in Marvel Preview number 7, Rocket did not see a lot of use in his early days. He teamed up with the Incredible Hulk to save his otter girlfriend Lila from the evil mole Judson Jakes. I love getting to say weird sentences like that. Got his own 4-issue limited series, and showed up in an issue of Quasar in 1990, followed by a few issues of She-Hulk in 1992. And then pretty much disappeared until 2007's Annihilation Conquest, where he helped to save the galaxy from an invasion of alien cyborgs, and then became part of the newly formed Guardians of the Galaxy. A team with that name already existed in publication, but was set in the year 3000. So this was the first iteration of the Guardians in the present day, and of course he's been associated with that team ever since. Based on the trailers, we can tell Lila will be making an appearance in Guardians 3. She's listed as an associate of Rocket's in the first Guardians, but that could have just been a throwaway comics joke, and that Rocket's backstory will likely be leaning more towards the tragic iteration of more recent comics. I feel like the main takeaway from this is that a character can never be gone from active publication too long to make a crazy comeback. Next week, it's something else Guardians related.